As you guys know, I have tons and tons of servers. The problem with these servers is they take so much power that I cannot run all of them all the time. I have a lot of servers on the shelf. I have servers at the data center because I don't pay for power there. Additionally, those servers are also really big, and I don't like taking up space at other people's houses or that kind of stuff. So today we're checking out a really cool product. This is the ZimaBoard 2. And I've wanted to try one for the longest time, but ZimaBoard reached out and sent it over to me, so thank you guys for that. But they don't control anything I say. I can say whatever I want about the product, but I'm just going to make this video because I think it is a nice device. So with that being said, let's check out the ZimaBoard 2. It is a nice unboxing experience. There's dual 2.5 gig NICs, one display output, which is mini DisplayPort 1.4, and there's also a quad-core CPU as well. This model specifically has 16 gigabytes of RAM. That is about it. So it's a nice and small computer like a Raspberry Pi, but like I told one of my friends, it's a lot more capable than a Raspberry Pi. With the 16 gigs of RAM, it can do a lot more. It's also x86 based instead of ARM, so there's a lot more compatibility from that perspective. Additionally, there's also a PCIe slot, which is pretty cool. I don't know what you can do too much with that, but it's there, which is great. One thing you can do is add some M.2 SSDs to that slot if you get an adapter. I thought about doing that. For what I'm doing today, we're going to be setting up a super small, invisible backup server. Those of you who have been longtime channel viewers know I used to have one in the barn, which is where we're going to put this, but the problem is those are huge, they take power. But this thing only takes just a little bit of power, so we're going to put 2 hard drives on here. It's going to be a super small backup server that will be stored way up in the ceiling and way out of the way of anyone to see. So this is what the device looks like, kind of fully built out. There's a tray that has 2 hard drives. This is an addition. This is the NAS kit, I believe is what they call it. But I have 2 4TB drives on here, and it's pretty sleek. It's obviously large, but that's due to the drives that are on there. I was going to actually put this at a offsite location, but I realized with the 2.5 gig NICs, there's no reason to put it that far away. I might as well have it on the local network here. I just upgraded the barn, so I have 2.5 gig out there, or 10 gig as well. And the reason this thing is absolutely perfect for this application is because there's no fans on this. Obviously, it's going to get toasty in the summer, but in the winter, that's ideal. And even in the summer, it's also ideal because there's no dust, no dirt, anything that's going to get inside of the components on this device just because it's completely fanless. So again, I'm going to watch the temperatures. I don't know, it's winter right now, so it's going to be great, but in the summer, it might be a little too hot. Let's go get this thing installed and we'll check it out from there. Okay, so I'm now in the barn. I have the ZimaBoard with me, and we're going to be putting this up here on the shelf. I think putting it on this shelf is going to be our best bet. I might put it to... Okay, so now we're gonna plug in the power supply for our ZimaBoard. Again, this is just a 12-volt power supply. I do have this brand new patch cable from Ubiquiti, so I'm gonna plug this in. It's nice and grounded and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not doing this for the grounding. I'm doing this for a nice quality cable. Everything is booting up, so at this point, that's all we have to do to install the thing. Power and Ethernet, that's about all. It is going to be a perfect off-site server. I mean, technically it is on-site, but it's off-site from the perspective that if the house burns down, then the barn is gonna still stand. So I'll have at least 4 terabytes of data. That being said, what data am I going to back up? Well, I have tons of data. I have S3 storage from the S3 Beam Networks Cloud customers. I have data personally, like photos, videos, like family stuff. I have YouTube videos and photos. I have drone videos and photos, all kinds of stuff like that. And I do have a offsite UNAS 2 device, a Ubiquiti NAS, but the problem with that is it's offsite. It's limited by the internet connection, so I think if I can have a actual on-site server for some local backups, that's going to be ideal. And this is for things that I want to restore quickly. Because I have the 2.5 gig connection to it, I can theoretically restore pretty quickly from this device locally instead of having to pull it from my offsite backup, if that makes any sense at all. I feel like I would be leaving something out if I didn't talk about the actual device and the software that it's running. Preloaded in, it comes with something that they call ZimaOS, which is actually a really nice looking software. It's a web GUI management interface for the device. You can do things like set up containers, storage shares, all of that kind of stuff. It's basically like a typical NAS software that you'll see. There's a whole app store or library of apps you can install. There's even ones, I think Handbrake is on there, which is kind of cool. So if you have a GPU connected to your PCIe slot, you could do like rendering and stuff like that. But that being said, I love the software. It looks cool, but
Every other one of my servers is Ubuntu, so the first thing I did is flash Ubuntu onto the device. It is a very easy process to flash the firmware, and I flashed Ubuntu 24.04 LTS onto the device, and that has let me set it up, and I have Ubuntu running. On Ubuntu, I have created a Z pool or ZFS pool of the drives. Obviously, since there's 2 drives, all you can really do is mirror them. I mean, you could do like a RAID 0 equivalent, which would like stripe the data between them, but I don't think that makes any sense in this application. That would double the speeds, but that would also double the chances of your data getting lost. I'm using refurbished 4TB drives, so of course those things are not reliable at all, and I don't trust them one bit. So I'm putting them into a RAID 1 on the hopes that my data will eventually be there if I ever need it. And the whole point of this server is that way it's just an offsite backup. I mean, I have backups other places, but it never hurts to have one more copy, and with how low powered the server is in terms of how much power it takes, I think it's a great use of the device to put it into an application like this. Because it has 16 gigs of RAM and 4 cores, all that kind of stuff, I'm able to also run maybe some Docker applications on it or something like that. Something a little more lightweight, but something that could still benefit me. I could run something like Uptime Kuma to monitor the uptime of my stack. And it's nice to have that kind of thing hosted on a server that is not in your server stack, because if that stack goes down, you would never know. So a third-party device sitting somewhere else is a great solution to uptime monitoring. And especially for recovery of things. So it is nice to have a server that is always running. That way, if I ever need to pull files, it's immediately ready. I don't have to wait on anything else. Let's talk about the final thoughts that I have for this device. It is available now on Amazon for $369, which is a lot more expensive than a Raspberry Pi. There is a NAS kit, like I showed you in this video, for $412. That also includes the PCIe card for the M.2 SSDs that you could add. But let's think about the pricing. I mean, the pricing is a little high on the high end, but again, it's a mini PC. If you look on Amazon, there's so many mini PCs, but the one thing about all those mini PCs is they look really good on paper, but they actually perform very badly. And I've personally tested this. I've bought some $600, maybe $800 mini PCs in the past for projects, and I have great hopes that they will work well, but Windows will take like 10 seconds to open an app, and it's like, why is it taking that long? I think with a device like this, with the ZimaBoard 2, I think it's a guaranteed quality. It's on paper, and I've physically tested it. It is a good quality device. And I'm not shilling for it because they sent it to me again. I'm literally speaking based on my performance that I've seen from the device myself. The backups run quickly, the device works well, and I have no complaints from that perspective. I also do really appreciate the design of it. The aluminum is very nice. It is fanless, and again, it's great for my off-site backup solution that I have as well. I think that compared to a lot of other mini PCs, even around the same price point, it performs pretty well. It could have more RAM, but RAM's expensive right now. For what this device is doing, the onboard storage is a nice add-on, but not a requirement. A lot of times I'll just boot servers from USB sticks or something like that because it really doesn't matter what those things boot from. But I'm curious to see your guys' thoughts, so please leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you, ZimaBoard, for sending this out. If you guys are interested in the ZimaBoard 2, I have a discount code that's going to get you $15 off your order from their website. It is BeamNetworks15. It'll be on the screen in the description below as well. But that is all I have, so thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you all in the next video.